Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are in a different garage today, doing a little bit of different work. We're not actually doing car stuff today. So, as you may see behind me, there are some little Cheeps here. These are Cornish rocks, and we just picked them up today from Tractor Supply. Got a great deal on them because they had to get rid of them. There are more chicks coming in every day. So these are meat birds. So we're going to talk a little bit about them, what I'm building for them, what the plans are. A little breakdown, talk about costs, things like that. Hopefully this will be a good video. So first, let us put your little friends. All right, let's investigate our little Cheeps. So here's one, very young, very adorable, lots of down feathers. So these chickens are of a straight run, so they could be male, they could be female. And for our particular purposes, it matters not. Because what we're doing is we're running these birds, they're going to be for meat. So ideally when they're all said and done, we should be about 3 to 4 pounds finish weight on these birds in about 6 to 8 weeks. So short run, they're going to live outside, get grass fed. Every day we're going to move them fresh grass, and that's what we're going to work on today. We're going to build the chicken tractor, or at least the main frame for it. I have chicken wire. The only thing I have to find still is going to be paneling for the roof. Otherwise, we can pretty much put this together today. So let's go outside and we'll leave them alone. I think I'm going to raise their light up a little bit. I think they're a touch warmer than they need to be. And I'm going to go show you the basic idea of what we're doing here and give you an idea of where I got this idea from, because it's a good idea. All right, let's go outside. All right, so here we got our pile of supplies, and you'll notice it's just a bunch of PVC pipe and some fittings. So I saw this idea off of Stony Ridge Farm. We're going to use 4-inch drainage pipe, and as you'll see, it's very thin, it's very light. So that's going to aid us in being able to have a fairly large square footage without a lot of weight to drag around, and that's where these fittings will come in. So I'll show you the basic layout in a bit and how we're going to maximize our material. Something to be mindful of is with these pipes, they are expanded on one end, so they slip into each other. All of our fittings are male on both ends, so they're not going to fit into each other. So what we're going to do is, for all of our 10-foot sections, I'm going to cut them in half and flip the one end around so it slip joints onto itself, and I have a male on either end, so it'll fit into our T's. And then I have one extra piece which I'm going to cut 2-foot sections, and they're going to go between the T and the elbows. So that way we have a little extra length. It'll be rectangular, so it'll be longer than it is wide. And I think if my measurements are relatively in the ballpark, we should end up somewhere around 15 by 10. Something like that, 150 square foot. We're only putting 30 birds in it. It could probably support 50 because they don't live that long and they don't get that huge. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Oh, and with these spare pipes here, I just happen to have extra. So I'm gonna have 2 foot between the top ring and the bottom ring, so that way they have good headroom, they can hop around and have a great time. So I'm going to move my pile over into the shade here, and we're going to start cutting pipe up, and well, I'll show you how we do this and see how it comes out. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is measure. These are going to be used for my uprights because they're spare junk, I don't need them. And then I have one of these that I'm going to make the extension legs. So alright, instead of getting a cutting table, cutting bucket. Making it work. Wrong saw for the right job. Doesn't really matter. Just make it straight-ish. Relatively even height pieces. Excellent. Okay, so next thing we need to do, since we have made our 4 uprights, is going to be make 4 24-inch long sections. Since this is new material, we're going to try to care just a little bit more. This is a 10-foot length. We're going to make 4 2-footers. We'll have 2 foot left over, including that little expanded flange, which we're not going to need right now, and that should be good. And then for the rest of the pile, they just get arbitrarily cut in half. The only key is making sure you keep each piece with its respective other half. Otherwise the lengths will get all goofy, but otherwise, beyond that, it doesn't matter where you cut it. This matters, those don't. Let's get cutting. Now, since we have to cut 8 of these in half, what we're going to do is number on either side of a line each pipe, so we know, just in case I goof up. Alright, so we're going to get set up here out in the driveway where it's flat, and we're going to start putting this crap together. So I had a realization as I was about to go move everything. I have 8 pipes for the ends and the sides and their corresponding other half. And then I have my 4 uprights, but I only have 4 2-foot sections to connect my elbow pieces to my T's. So in reality, what I've done is I forgot about the top ring that I need. So 4 more cuts. We'll be back once I'm done cutting those in half. So then I will have 8 1-foot sections, and then this will net out the way it needs to. So just a moment. Alright, so I've moved into the shade because I do have some work I gotta do before I lay everything out. But what we're going to need is some PVC purple primer and some PVC cement. Now you can use an all-in-one, it doesn't really matter. This is what I had, this is what I'm using. But let's go over the pieces. So there will be 2 main rings that will be separated using the T's and those legs there, which is why there's only 4 of the legs. So short, long side of a 10-foot. They have their own half. That's going to be one side and the ends. We're going to add our little foot sections between the T and each elbow, and then one of our sections that'll make our ends. So 8 elbows, 8 T's, 8 10-foot sections, another 10-foot section, and another 10-foot section if you don't have scraps left over. So what I'm going to do now is primer every inner or outer end of every single piece you see here, which is about 50 pieces, so I'm going to be here for a while. Ta-da! We are done. So I didn't stand all of these up because there's no point. Once this primer's done drying though, you can set everything in place for the first course on the driveway, and we'll start laying it out and building it up. Now that I have mostly shade, it should be a little bit better. So we'll get started. right, let's go look at it in the grass, see how close I was to getting it straight, which is not very, but that's all right. Sits good in the grass because the grass ain't level anyways. So for the next portion of this, I'm going to chicken wire around all this. We'll make a lid at the top and get a roof together. All right. Well, I think we'll call it there. It's going to end up being long. So this is part 1 of building yourself a chicken tractor. Stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching. Everybody stay safe. Till next time.